Everybody, today I'm going to be reviewing Laser Attack. This game came out in 1978 from Milton Bradley, and it is for 2 to 4 players. Now, the object of Laser Attack is that you are going to be trying to destroy the dreaded enemy laser. And the way you're going to be doing that is you're going to be trying to block these different ports that are there and hope to spin the little laser in hopes that the laser will hit that blocked port. You've got spaceships and pods that you're going to be using, and you're going to not only be able to move yourself and your own pods, but your opponents as well. So this makes the game rather interesting. So let's show you this game, Laser Attack. Okay, everybody, as always, I'm going to show you the game components really quick. The first thing you have here are your spaceships, and there's 4 different colors. There's red, there's orange, there's yellow, and there is blue. And these are translucent as well, so that's a really cool little feature. Right here you have your energy pods, and again there's a bunch of these, and there's 4 different colors. And ultimately what you're going to be trying to do is you're going to be trying to collect all of your colored pods and go up to the spaceport over there and try to block off these little ports in hopes to destroy it. Speaking of the spaceport, here it is. You're going to basically be spinning this little thing, and there's going to be a light that is going to show through one of these holes. And right here is the back. This does not have a battery cover, which is rather interesting, and it takes 2 batteries. In order to activate it, you're basically going to take this little thing over here and place it down, and then the light is going to go ahead and show. And I'll shut off the light so you can see it a little bit better. There we go. So you can see that there's a little light that's going to shine down one of these little white paths over here. And what's going to happen essentially is you're going to be moving all of these pieces up one, and then you're going to follow these instructions that are below over here. So basically what you'll do is you'll spin it. It's going to go ahead and land on one of these paths, and whatever it lands on, you'll just simply follow the instructions. And I'll explain how that works here in just a little bit. So hopefully you can see the light okay as it's going through these different paths. So the way it works is if you've got paths that are going vertically down, and on the beginning of your turn you're going to go ahead and move your spaceship 1 space up or down. Now you're going to have to move your spaceship even if it is to your disadvantage. Now the way you're going to end up picking up your pods is if you end up, say you have a pod over here, if you move your pod to the spaceship, you'll be able to pick it up like that, or if you move your spaceship to the pod, you're going to be able to do it like that, and you're just simply going to interlock it like so into your spaceship. Now ultimately what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to pick up all of your pods that are available and then go up to the spaceport over here and then block off these ports. And if you end up spinning the laser on one of the blocked ports that you block, then you're going to win the game. This is going to get destroyed essentially. So anyway, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and move your spaceship 1, and then you're going to spin this thing. And let's just say it landed over here. What's going to happen is the tractor beam is going to move all of anything that is on this pathway up 1, and then you're going to follow the instructions that are on the bottom over here. Now there are 4 different things that are going to happen on this. The first is space control, which is the player is either going to move his opponent's spaceship 1 space, move his pod 1 space, or everybody is going to get to move their spaceship 1 space or one of their pods 1 space. Now, when you're setting the game up, you're going to set up all of these different colored pods. Even if it's a 2-player game, you're still going to set it up there. So let's just give you an example of how it works. I'll go ahead and spin, and the light is showing on this. So you'll move up both of the pods like so, and then it says all captains move one of their energy pods 1 space. So now you can't jump over pods, you can't be in the same space as any of the pieces. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and move my pod over here, and let's say my opponent is red. He'll go ahead and move his this way, like so. Now you'll note that there's something called a damage zone and a destruction zone. What basically happens with the damage zone, if you end up spinning the laser light on your ship while you're in the damage zone and you have a pod, then that pod is going to be placed back here. So you're going to basically lose 1 pod, and then you're going to have to go back and get it. Now if it's in the destruction zone, like this piece is, this pod is going to be knocked out of play. And the same would apply if I had a spaceship like in the destruction zone over here like so. That would destroy one of the pods that was up here. Let's just say it's my turn. I decide I'm going to go move up here. I spin this thing, and this is what is on. So this moves up 1, this moves up 1, this spaceship moves up 1. Now this is not going to get destroyed yet because it was not in the red zone at the beginning of my turn. So then I will follow this. It says space control moves opponent's spaceship 1 space. You'll go ahead and move the spaceship 1 space, and typically what you're going to do if you're doing that is you're going to try to move your opponent's spaceship away from your pods. And if you're moving his pods, you're going to want to either move them away from his spaceship or even in the destruction zone over here, because his pod is going to get destroyed if that little light shows up. Okay, so let's just say we've played the game a little bit, and I've managed to get 4 of my pods on, and one of my pods ended up getting knocked out. What I would end up doing is I would move my piece up here, and then I will go ahead and be able to block one of these ports. I would just simply take this off, and then block the port like this. Now what I can do is I can either spin this thing in hopes that it would block the port like this. If it ended up landing on it like that, I would win the game. Or I could go ahead and move to the next space, and then on my next turn I could block another port and try to increase my chances. So I would go ahead and place one here, and then I could either move over to the next space, or I could try to spin again. So let's just say I spun again, and it did not hit it again, so I would just continue playing. Now, eventually what's going to happen is this spaceport is going to hit one of these blocked ports over here like so. Whoever's pod is in that hole when the laser hits it is going to win the game. So my final thoughts on laser attack. Well, when I first read about this game, I thought this game was going to be kind of simple because, like, okay, you just have to collect pods with a spaceship and block it. How hard is that? Well, I got to tell you, this game is not as easy as it looks. And one of the main reasons is because your opponent can move you around. A lot of times what's going to happen is if your opponent takes control and can move you, he's going to move your spaceship away from your pods. I've chased my pods so many times I cannot even count how many times. He can move your spaceship into the damage zone in hopes that he can mess you up a little bit and knock one of your pods back. Or what often happens is he can move your pod to the destruction zone and end up wiping the pod out if the laser hits it. There's been a lot of times when I wasn't even paying attention and my pod was there and it would get destroyed. So this game has actually got some strategy to it because you can actually use your the pods and the spaceship to block your opponent's spaceship to where he's not going to be able to move until one of those pods gets moved. So this game is actually rather cool. It's a strategy game, and employing this interesting little mechanic with the laser makes this game unique for sure. It's not hard to learn, and it actually takes a little while to play. I think it takes about 15 minutes at least with 2 players, and a lot of the reason is just simply because you're moving pieces around, you're spinning, you're trying to screw your opponent up. There was one game where I actually lost all my pods, and I lost just because I had no pods left. If you find it at a thrift store, I would definitely pick it up. This is a rarer game, and I've got this game for probably about $25 total. I've seen people trying to sell this game for about $40, $50, which is a little bit too high for me. But you could probably get a decent copy for about $25 on eBay if you were patient. But anyway, I recommend this game for anybody who likes these vintage kinds of games. It's got a really cool component to it, and it's got that vintage feel. And I really, really like the way the board looks. It's got that sci-fi looking electrical cool look to it. I really like that a lot. I love the translucent pieces too. They're made of really good plastic, and I love the way the light shines through it. And if you play this game in the dark, that makes it really interesting. So I would recommend this game to anybody who likes vintage games. And so that is my review, you guys. I hope you all have a great day. Keep on gaming.